It's been danger, trenches, gang violence, all that. I've been surrounded by that my whole life. So, it's kind of like for me being the first one to like overachieve and, do stuff the family hasn't done before. Like, it's crazy to them that like I left the city and left the country. It's crazy to know I even done that alone. And that says a lot because we don't get a lot of opportunities, in this environment because of the lack of resources we all get. Bullets got no name, bro. They gonna go at anybody.
The majority of firearm-related deaths occur in areas with a greater number of residents living below the federal poverty line. This troubling statistic led our group to try and find solutions to this problem, as well as seeking out people affected by gun violence, along with experts and organizations dedicated to helping impoverished people find resources in their communities to steer them away from gun violence.
Poverty is not a personal decision, because if it was a personal decision, we would not have millions and millions of people in a country that's supposed to be the richest country in the world, and why so many of them are in poverty. I think one of the most latest statistics that there are about, 11 million children themselves in the United States who are actually living in poverty.
Issues in inner-city education kept coming up in our group's research, as, for example, a nationwide study showed an apparent gap in graduation rates, with 53% of students graduating from high school in the nation's 50 largest cities as compared to 71% in suburban communities. Mark Wanyu is a cook and record producer who is a graduate of Frankfurt High School in Philadelphia. Mark has seen the flaws in our school system, leading to people from his community falling victim to gun violence.
Each environment that I seen my friends in was never a good thing. They were all too impactful for these types of people, too traumatizing, you know what I'm saying? And these things don't leave us as kids. We grow with them and we don't know really what's bothering us inside because we bottled it up so much. So I seen that bottled emotion come out in loud outbursts in public. And that tends to happen in school a lot. It's usually this kid's having a bad time at home. This kid has, he might be getting beat by his dad. This kid's poor. All three of them fighting each other because they got their own problems that they trying to just let out. They don't know how to let it out, but they're lashing out.
Like, there are certain teachers that do care and certain teachers that don't. Like, certain teachers will go out the way and actually teach you something that's going to be beneficial for you when you leave high school. And other teachers are going to say what they have to say. They don't really care what happens. Like, as long as you get a 60 and up, I don't care what you do.
The lack of equitable resources is very, very paramount right now. It's like on the surface at this point. But also, if teachers don't have those equitable resources, they can always use their practices to make it more culturally responsive and to make it more culturally relevant for all their students.
Our studies led us to the root cause of the discrepancies between suburban and urban education, as school funding primarily relies on local tax dollars. Gabe's educational experience is a perfect example of funding discrepancies, as he has experienced both the charter school education and education in the Philadelphia public school system.
The difference between is the schools and Dobbins, they will only go there just because they chose it. They don't know nothing about the school. They just going to school just because their parents told them to go. At ICS, it's like people around the world come to that school because they have stuff to offer in there, and they're a very organized school. So, when you go there, you must have a reason. Like for me, at ICS, I learned how to speak Spanish. I'm fluent in Spanish. I done Spanish from kindergarten all the way to 7th grade. I was scared to go to Dobbins because, we in Philly. You don't know what could happen at any moment. So, I was really scared at first. You would get caught into things that, that it's not intentional, like gangs, different gangs get in there. There's a lot of conflict in there. And then, you would get caught up in it just because you're cool with somebody or just because you was there at the scene.
Overpopulation, low funding, staff, not understanding how to deal and interpret certain kids is what I think really, really changed the outcome of how, some of the kids looked at life itself, not just school or, academics, but the overall picture on things.
Vaugh's Big Picture High School in Philadelphia is home to the 100 Black Men Philadelphia chapter. 100 Black Men is a funded program that offers opportunities for African American males who are at risk in the inner city to succeed in the classroom and in the professional world.
kids come through at 10 o'clock. They'll be here until 2. Right now we're breaking them up into different programs. We have the young men from University of Penn with their soccer clinic. So they're right now down, most of them in the basement doing the soccer clinic. And then we'll also have another group of kids, 11 o'clock. We'll pull them off for kids who want to do Dollars and Cents program, which is a part of our national competition. And then the older kids, so to speak, the older high school kids, they already broke off into their mentoring session. One program that I'm really excited about is our Parent Academy. The engagement from our parents from day one to now is outstanding. And that goes back to one of the key principles that has always worked. It takes a village, right? So we have really great engagement from our parents. That program on its own, and what we do with the parents is we share with them the same information we're sharing with the kids, just at a higher level. So that way, the parents and the kids, when they go in their car and they're driving home today, they have something to talk about.
The issues pertaining to the Philadelphia school system has led the leaders at 100 Black Men to collaborate with schools in the area in order to steer young men away from gun violence by having protocols and systems in place to set their students up for success.
We started branching out. Our Vaux's was our home-based school. Watching what we did here and the success with it within this community just naturally made me figure out a way of just 10xing this opportunity. So now we are in James Rhodes, which is the middle school. We're in Kensington Kappa. We're doing a relationship with Boys Latin. So we're about 8 other different schools following the same model we have here at Vaux. Each school has the opportunity to choose which one of our core programs they want to participate in. How do we get engagement? Engagement comes in first. We got to have a principal who wants to participate. And then we try to find a school also, and if we can't, that has some type of male teachers, Black male teachers there. If not, then we'll do what we need to do if the school has interest. But that engagement is very important. Once we've got that engagement from a school, we then ask them which one of our programs you want to participate in. It's African American History Challenge, Dollars and Cents, Money and Banking, Mentoring and Leadership, Health Initiative. What part of our core programs of interest to you? We then follow out and see, engage the actual student body to see where that participation rate is. And then that school will run that particular 1 or 2 program. Maybe it's even STEM, which is our newest program.
And the foundation is the core values. And when you look at our values, core values from health and wellness, finance, education, they always been there. They mentor for a lifetime. And then in reverse, when you reverse it, they become somebody else's mentor, and they take on mentees.
When manufacturers put out cars that they know is missing a bolt, they call it a recall. Well, it's the same thing we do with the kids right now. Our educational system is based on recalls. We sit back and we put out this poor product, and then we're wondering why we got to recall it. Typically, recall, once again, happens in a violent situation, whereas now we're recalling this kid and trying to get him out of the system. We're trying to recall this kid and try to get him back on track. We're trying to recall this kid and try to figure out why he's got 2 or 3, 4, 5 babies. Recall. That's stupid. Like, tighten the bolt down, figure out now, and then put it out there. And until we figure that out, we're going to just keep doing the same thing over and over again.